It's the evening of July 7th, and this is our first campsite in Alaska. Doing some free camping up here. This pull off the road, off of I think it's Highway 2 or 3 down there. We're about probably about 20 miles or so out of Tok, and close to a state park called Moon Lake, I think it was, state park. But of course, we're not camping in the park. We're camping over here on the free side, on the wild side. But just again, just a pull off the main road down there. This gravel road here that came up the hillside, and then down in the bottom here, which you can't see it, but there's a kind of a big open gravel parking area, and there's a trailer was already up in their camper when I first pulled in. And I came on up the hillside here. You know, I didn't want to crowd them down there, of course. So I came on up here and got a pretty cool campsite. But I really, even though I know I always say I got to make them short, I really should not dilly-dally here. So let me just, a few things I wanted to mention. I looked some mileages up and all that. And from when came into BC last Friday, was 1,788.3 miles from BC, there in Washington to the Canadian border. So almost 1,800 miles across, and that was like 6 days of riding. Yeah, got in like 2 hours of riding on Friday, and then like the 6 full days, so to speak, including today. Today was like 209 miles, just over 209.1. So not a real big day, but I don't need to make big days. Actually, and I'll say more about that here in a moment. That, and then two, what was cool down there at the Alaskan border, that number right there, 11,398.5 since we left home back on May 10th. So almost 11,400 miles in these just over 8 weeks. So yeah, so that's some numbers I wanted to get squared away on there. Go and get this view of the mountains here behind me. So yeah, that's some mileages. Like I said, I want to make sure I had record it. As far as today, after coming into Alaska, just right up the road, I've already got the sticker on over here. Let me see what it's called. Added the Alaskan Highway there, Yukon, and then Altetlan National Wildlife Refuge. They had a like a visitor center, and behind it they had like this a deck overlooking the valley, and it was a pretty view, and overlooking the refuge. And talked to the woman in there that worked in there for a few minutes, and again bought the sticker and this little metal token thing. So yeah, so that was cool. Let me see what else. Rode into Tok. Got there, would have been like 5 o'clock, but at some point back there across another time zone, and gained an hour, which was always nice. So got into Tok right at like 4, and went to the pharmacy first. Took me a minute to find it. When I Googled directions, it took me to where, kind of down towards where the old location was, and evidently they've moved. They had a nice new big modern building, and you guys should have seen it compared to the one I went to first, their old building. Yeah, it's quite the improvement, so good for them. I mean, nice big, like I said, modern medical center now. But that's where the pharmacy was, and evidently like the dentist and doctor's offices and stuff like that. So yeah, I ended up calling them though when I went to the wrong place, and they told me, well, they had a new building up the road. So I went to that, got my medication, and then I Googled the place where I had the handgun sent to, and they closed at 4. And, you know, again, at this point, we're talking, it's, I don't know, about 4:30, something like that, 4:20. And I went ahead and tried calling him anyhow, just in case somebody was there and I could tell him, you know, please let me get my gun tonight so I could roll on. But, you know, I didn't get anybody. So, yeah, so it just turned into, you know, time to just kind of hang, you know, and went ahead and got some gas and met a guy named Dan, actually from Salem, Ohio, which I'm not sure exactly where Salem is. He said like northeast up towards Youngstown, but I'm gonna have to look it up. But Dan is a brother and just a nice guy. I think he said he was 66 years old. He's another one of them guys on the BMW GS's, the 1200s. And actually, he started out his adventure with his younger son, and his son was on a KLR 650 and was having bike issues, and he just wasn't comfortable, you know, continuing on. So he went ahead and actually sold the bike. Was able to sell the bike, put it on Facebook, and sold it in like 2.5 hours, and you know, went and flew on back home. But he's got his wife though. Dan's got his wife joining him here. I don't know if it was tomorrow or soon, and she'll ride with him up here for a couple weeks, and I'm sure they'll have an amazing time together. And I'll certainly be praying for you guys. So yeah, I spoke to Dan though for a while. He was at the gas station also, is where I met him. But I spoke to him for a while, and then I went ahead and I went to another gas station and got some food and sat outside and ate it and charged my devices and called my woman and my folks and, you know, all that good stuff. Blessed to talk to them and, you know, again, tell them I'm in Alaska, you know. Let's see, what else? Again, I watched my video from the being at the border there. I just watched that a few minutes ago, and yeah, clearly I'm a crier. I always have been. I'm an emotional dude, and Lori, you know, we've even joked over the years that you know, I cry as much as Charles Ingalls, or more than Charles Ingalls. That, you know, either way, and yeah, but you know, that's all right. Charles is I love Little House on the Prairie. Grew up watching that, and he's you know, a great guy and quite a role model as a dad and husband and all that, and definitely an emotional guy, but yet a manly guy. So I'm cool with that. Okay, what else? Let's again, I don't need to tarry here for too long. So yeah, like I said, the gun shop's closed, and, you know, they don't open till 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. So I rode out of town here to find a place to camp, and God willing, I'll roll back into town early and maybe do some, you know, again, Facebooking and charging and eat some breakfast. If I can, you know, get there in time for all that, eat some breakfast and then be at the shop when they open. Two, I need a huge calculation mistake. I had mentioned in that border video about Alaska or Anchorage being like 1,000 miles. And, you know, I really thought it was. And the reason why is a couple days ago, or a few days ago, when I was at the Yukon restaurant, and I reached out to that motorcycle shop in Anchorage, you know, to schedule all this work on Zeke. I think it said then that, you know, the place was like 1,800 and some kilometers away, and without doing anything official, you know, looking it up, you know, converting it, I was like, all right, well, that's probably, you know, 1,500 miles or something. And then with the miles that I've done to get to the border, you know, in the past few days since then, I'm like, well, I probably still got about 1,000 miles left, something like that. But no. When I rode in, I mean, we're talking like, I don't remember what it was, though. It was either just over 400 or just under 400. It might have been like 370 miles or something to Anchorage. Either way, it was up around 400, which big difference, you know, to 1,000. But, you know, I'm stoked. I mean, that's super cool. You know, not that far, but again, the appointment's not until Tuesday morning, and then you know, again, today's only Friday. So that said, that's why if if my gun was available tonight, if I was able to pick it up, I was going to roll, make a few more miles tonight, and give myself a little bit shorter day tomorrow, and try to actually power over to, shouldn't say power, I mean, it would have been less than 300 miles over to Anchorage tomorrow. And then I would have called, of course, but seeing if they could have done that work on Saturday instead of next Tuesday, because then, again, they're closed Sunday and Monday. But I was thinking if I picked up the gun, get over there tomorrow, they can do the work on Saturday, and that'll put me a few days ahead as far as, moving on and doing something else. But that's all in God's timing. I'll pick up the gun, Lord willing, around, 10 tomorrow. Might still call them and still might ride that over there tomorrow night or during the day, seeing as how it does not get dark. I mean, I've got all day and night, so to speak, although I wouldn't, ride through the night regardless. Wouldn't take that long, even, if I wasn't getting on the road till, 10:30 or 11, whatever. It's just really not that far. So yeah, I mean, we'll see. Like I said, Lord willing, I'll call them in the morning and see if they could do that work on Saturday. But a big part of it, whether or not they could do the work, is the fact that she had to order that rear tire, and that might not even be in yet. So either way, if it's not, then that means I've got a few days just to go, a few hundred miles, and I guess I'll just figure out something to do. Have some light days and just enjoy and checking out Alaska, on my way over. No hurry and no worries, I guess. Either way, it's all part of the adventure. So, but yeah, what a calculation mistake. That's, again, to think I had a thou. I mean, what a pleasant surprise too, though, to see that it was like, less than 400 or around 400, knowing that back tire is getting, getting fairly trim, and then just that chain and sprocket and all that needs replaced with all those miles, that the bike's got on it now. Just what a blessing to see that I didn't still have 1,000 miles to ride. So yeah, that was cool. Quite a mistake, but very cool mistake. As far as how how it worked out. So yeah, that's all I got. Again, it's only, if I didn't say, it's only like just after 9. Probably about 20 after now. There's the sun up there through the trees. Again, it is like broad daylight. Thankfully, the bugs aren't too terribly bad up here right now, but I am sleeping in the tent regardless. Between the bugs and potential bears, yeah, I'm going to sleep in the tent. And I don't know if I mentioned, I did see another bear. I think I mentioned that. Yeah, I did. One, I saw it off in the distance across the road in front of me last night after I'd turned northwest there at the Haynes Junction. Saw another bear cross the road. So that was like 4 bears in like 3 days. So that was pretty cool. I might not have mentioned, I'm really not sure. But anyhow, I'm going to shut her down and go to bed. So thanks for watching, and God bless y'all.